Howdy folks, this is Phil here at Guard Tower West, here to give you a little preview into the upcoming Magic the Gathering product coming this Friday, February 2nd at Guard Tower West. Feel free to drop by to pick up some Commander decks, pre-release kits, play booster boxes, and collector packs. Today I'll be giving you a preview of the contents inside the pre-release kit, the play booster box, and open a collector pack for a little spice for you guys. Alrighty, so let's start with a pre-release kit. If you come out this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we have pre-release events where you could get a pre-release kit, open it up, and play with some of the cards before other retailers like Walmart would be able to. Inside, you'll be able to find a pre-release pack with a foil stamped promo that also comes with a promo that you can't play, but our Commander players would be really interested in getting. For me, in my pre-release kit, I got a Fugitive Code Breaker that I can play with in my pre-release kit, and for the Commander players, I got Voja, Claw of the Conclave. Pretty sweet Wolf Elf Synergy card. And in your kit, you should get 6 play boosters. Wizards has decided to change set and draft boosters into play boosters, so you get the same amount of cards that you would in a draft pack, but with the coolness that comes with a set booster. And for sealed, we will build a 40 card deck. You're allowed to play with all the cards that you open in your pre-release kit, minus that special Commander card. And for me, I got a sweet reprint in Lightning Helix with sweet new art. And just like in set boosters, you could get a chance of getting a card in the list. For me, that's Quintorius. And no special land, unfortunately, but I did get the poster child for this arc, Kellen, Inquisitive Prodigy. Like all the other Kellens, he comes with a neat, cool little adventure that you can cast him for, and then later cast the creature side for. The other really neat thing about these play booster packs is that you're guaranteed a foil as well. In my case, I got something along the lines of Daphne and the crew from Scooby-Doo. Alrighty, now let's see what else we opened in our packs. For this video, I'll just be cutting to the juicy stuff, so notable uncommons and rares. And in this case, sometimes, not always, but sometimes you'll get an art card that could come in your pack instead of that token slot. I got a pretty sweet foil forest to show off to you guys. Not full art, unfortunately. And there's that guaranteed foil. Additionally, my rare for this pack is Pyrotechnic Performer. The other really cool thing about these packs is that you could get more than one rare. So hopefully for the sealed players out there, you'll get a nice pull with a lot of rares to work with. We got 4 more packs to open, so let's see what we got. Alrighty. A foil Person of Interest. And for my rare, Karlov's Visionary Inventor. Another sweet card I'd love to brew with. Three more packs to go. Another pack with Krenko as the art card. A foil Cold Case Cracker. Sweet Spirit Detective. And finally, ooh, a Rakdos, Patron of Chaos. Rakdos makes his triumphant return in the 4th Ravnica set, which is pretty sweet. And look at that, I got more than one rare this time. Case of the Stash Skeleton. Now for those of you online, there is a really neat Easter egg about this card. You might see who this guy used to be when he was alive in one of the previous Ravnica sets. Alright, 2 more packs to go. For this one, I got a foil Hezda Vigilante. Let's see. Ooh, a Forensic Gadgeteer. Pretty sweet for making your clues a lot less cheaper to activate. And just a 1 rare pack this time. And I skipped over the land slot, but sometimes you can get these cool symmetrical full art lands. You'll find one for each color. And they're always a great addition to have put into any deck. Alright, final pack for all the marbles. Alrighty, for my foil, I got an Airtight Alibi. And for my 1 rare this pack, I got Yaris, War of the Old Gods. So even just looking at my rares, I would probably build a base red deck going into green because green always has sweet creatures that you can build into. And with that, that's all the contents you will hopefully see in a pre-release kit, 6 play boosters, and some sweet foil promos to commemorate your event. Next, we'll be moving on to a play booster box. Alrighty, now we're into a play booster box, which, like I mentioned previously, is a combination of the draft and set booster boxes. These come in 36. For Murders at Karlov Manor, there is no box topper, but while supplies last, you could get a pretty sweet Wojek Investigator promo while they last, and only at physical retailers. So this is what that box looks like with its little helpful sheet you can use for drafters. Now I know that a concern for a lot of drafters is with these play boosters and with how many rares you can open in a pack, will draft change? I honestly don't think it will too much, but we'll have to see for ourselves when we open and get to play with these. So I got a full art mountain. For my foil, I got a thinking cap. And this pack is one of those 2 rare packs. My first one is Hide in Plain Sight. Similar to Collected Company, but you gotta put in a little more effort to flip those cards around and hopefully reveal some cool stuff. And then for my other rare, I got an Elegant Parlor. A cycle of lands that have that subtype of 2 basics, and they always enter the battlefield tapped, but they let you surveil once they do enter the battlefield. And I think that's pretty sweet. It's a nice change of pace from the Shocklands, and honestly might be a good addition to Commander players. Being able to fetch that up is always sweet. This time we got the Panorama Symmetrical Island. So that just leaves the plains and the swamp. A foil Burden of Proof. And then finally for my rare, we got Lost in the Maze. An enchantment with flash that stuns your opponent's creatures but gives hexproofs to your tapped creatures. So a pretty interesting trick. Pack 3. I think something that they did really well with this set is still hearken to Ravnica. Even though it's not the main feature, you could still see flavors of Ravnica here and there. For my foil, I got a Breakout. And Kellen makes his triumphant return as I get another Kellen. Now we haven't hit another list card in a little bit, so maybe we can pull something sweet. Alrighty, so this is one of the token detectives you can get. He'll be at your side to help you out when in need. And for my foil, I got an agency coroner. Ooh, and this time, I got one of the new mechanics for this set, a case card. And this one is Case of the Uneven Feast. An upgrade for the players who are already playing with a Johnny's Aid and stuff like that. But no list card. And honestly, not too many packs with more than one rare. Which is nice. Ooh. I got one of the showcase treatment cards on the job. You'll see a feature of this is that ring that you would get for a magnifying glass. You'll see cards that have that treatment on them. And then finally, for my rare, I got an ill-timed explosion. Pretty sweet sweeper for those Is It players. Right, on to pack 6, I believe. Alrighty, we finally got a list card in this pack. For me, it is Mentor of the Meek. Pretty sweet card, originally featured in Innistrad, used to be a rare. For my foil, I got a Soul Search. Makes me want to do some soul searching myself. And finally, an Outrageous Robbery. So we finally hit our first list card. And I don't think it's too backbreaking for those limited players out there, or at least I haven't hit one. Alrighty. Pretty sweet token, Voya. And another Kylix, Visionary Inventor, that we saw in my pre-release kit. Still a sweet card for those Is It brewers out there. Alright. This I haven't seen before. A nice little punch-out card to indicate counters, poison counters, which of your guys are suspected, and if you got any solved cases out there. Now, an interesting card. Krenko's Buzz Crusher. Something really interesting about this is that it doesn't target lands, so for those Lotus Field players out there, I would keep an eye out against that. Ooh, we got our first clue. Set of daggers in a tree. Nothing good comes out of hurting nature, I guess. And we got ourselves a Lazov, Wearer of Faces. Primarily featured as the Guild Master, now he's taking a step back from his roles, but still doing pretty dubious things. Another clue, this time a set of fingerprints. And for a rare, we got an Officious Interrogation. Yeah, I think I've opened about a quarter of this box and no packs with duplicate rares, so not too concerning. Another card out of the list this time, Croson Tusker. Interesting card with Cycle where you search for that basic first, then you draw a card. A foil chalk outline. Hopefully nothing we'll have to encounter. And then finally our first mythic for the box, Kaya. Makes her triumphant return. Ooh, and look at this. We got our first double rare pack with a Hunted Bone Brew. Card that harkens to the hunted cards from OG Ravnica, the original Ravnica, where you had hunted cards in all colors. This time we got a skeleton dog pursued by some living dogs. And in this pack, we have a rare Cryptic Coat, an interesting card that utilizes the mechanic Cloak, and doesn't have an equip cost, which is pretty interesting. Alrighty. Our first foil rare for the box with an outrageous robbery. Our second one so far, but this one in shiny foil. And then finally, the unnamed legendary card, the hero of the 10th District, who will eventually become a legendary creature, but you gotta work for that a little bit. You can actually track her progress through previous Ravnica sets. It's pretty interesting to see how far she's come. Finally, full art planes with that whodunit style. Now we're just missing that swamp. And for our rare, an Anthem effect and War Leader's Call. Alright. Man, it feels like I haven't actually opened that many packs. But alas, we'll see. Ah, yes. So, a mechanic for the set for those returning players, it's an upgraded ward of sorts. You pay 3 to put a creature card face down, and it has ward 2. And a token you can put on top of a card, we see our good friend, the Fugitive Codebreaker. So far, so good. I say this playbox has been pretty sweet so far. Lost sweet pulls. Not too many multi-rare packs, but hey, that's a-okay with me. Alrighty, and just as I say so, a double rare pack. We got Reenact the Crime. And a mythic blue-red vehicle in Kylox's Volt Strider. Pretty sweet. You don't see many rares or vehicles in those colors, and just a cute little frantic scapegoat. Alright, a pretty great pun and our foil. Slime Against Humanity. One of the few cards that allows you to change the amount of a card you can have in your deck to have as many as you want this time. And a double rare pack, at least. A Steam Core Scholar, Spirit Detective doing what he does, or Weird Detective. Ooh. Commercial District, one of those fetchable lands that always enters tapped and lets you surveil. And that's it. Alrighty, just one rare this pack, in a Lamplight Phoenix. Phoenixes do what they do, and this one comes back to when you collect evidence. Ooh, I'd say this is pretty neat. Foil full art symmetrical forest. And followed by, ooh, he's shown up again, Lazavware faces in foil. Ooh, and this is really exciting, the Mole God. Gruul gonna do what Gruul gonna do, attack and take extra turns. Big beefy creature, smashing face, classic Gruul. Uh-oh. Looks like Snow White has left her shoe behind. Classic foil shock. And for a rare, a Blood Spatter Analysis. Alrighty. We can see that Wizards of the Coast took a little inspiration from Clue with a portfolio frame treatment for a sharp-eyed rookie. And our other rare, Barbed Servitor. Now, unfortunately, he can't block, but for fans of Stuffy Doll and Brash Taunter, a cool little toy to play with. Alrighty, in its regular form, the Sharp-Eyed Rookie. Ooh, we're nearing the end. I can see the white of the bottom of the box. Man, sometimes just opening packs, that's all you need with this game. Just open some packs. Alrighty, a double rare pack in a Forensic Gadgeteer. And a Coveted Falcon. Ooh, interesting. The other thing I forgot about these play boosters is sometimes they have a slot dedicated to a special guest. In this case, mine's a Field of the Dead Commander All-Star. Very pretty story spotlight card, Insidious Roots. And finally, my rare for the pack, Prof's Eidactic Memory. So man, if you're drafting this, you got a tough choice of taking the special guest, all-star, or pretty decent rare. Alrighty, another double rare pack with Yaris, War of the Old Gods. And a Doorkeeper Thrall. A Torpor Orb effect for artifacts and creatures on a flash body. Not bad. White's still doing hate bear things. Love to see it. Aw, and how can you say no to this face? Look at this good boy.
Well, hey, I mean, it's convenient.
Alrighty, and our rare for the pack is Drag the Canal. Final 3 packs. Let's hope that they save the best for last. Otherwise, this box is still pretty sweet. Ooh. We got our foil rare. I think that's our third one for the box. Case of the Uneaten Feast. And a sweet callback to the third Return to Ravnica, Assassin's Trophy. Pretty sweet removal that's seen less play, but still gets the job done. I lied. There are actually one more pack than I anticipated, so now it's the final 3. And we got our favorite legendary Crocodile Elk Turtle with a huge health pool of 15. The pride of the whole plate. I know a lot of Arcades players that are going to be happy to put that into their deck. Myself included. Alrighty. And a Deadly Cover-Up. Now, something that's interesting about this is that it just targets any card, so if you collect evidence, you can exile all the basic lands out of a player's library. Or all of one type, at least. And now, drum roll please for the final pack. Let's hope for some sweetness. And we get there with a special guest, Ghostly Prison. All-star for those Pillow Fort decks. And we end with the Dragon, the Myth, the Legend, Niv Mizzet Guild Pact. Pretty sweet card, and great to see he's still doing A-okay after all that's happened on poor Ravnica. So that's the end of our box there. And finally, we'll be moving on to our collector booster pack. Alrighty, to start things off, we got a Novice Inspector. Thraven Inspector will find a nice little buddy to play with. A Fanatical Strength. And our second to last common, a cold case cracker. Even when they're dead, they're still going to try to solve cases. Ooh, funky looking Goblin Artificer and Gadget Technician. Now onto the uncommons. We got Breakout. And I guess we're both hungry and gonna beat our friends with a cold case of mutton. Good for a late night meal. And our final uncommon in branch of the Vitu-Ghazi. Ooh. And a very pretty full art foil symmetrical mountain. Sweet addition to all commander decks. And now we get to see some of that alternate treatment I was talking about in a Gleaming Gear Drake. You'll see the portfolio style on it, the dossier style. And in the story spotlight cards, you could get these magnifying frame card treatments. Ooh, and a pretty sweet fetchable Surveil Land. They'll enter taps, but they do have those important card types on them. And for my full art rare, I got a Pyrotechnic Performer. Pretty sweet side gig. Now, in these packs, you also get a couple commander cards. This one's full art in Copy Catchers. And then our second to last card, we got a dossier-style Homicide Investigator. And finally, to wrap this all up, we have a full art foil Drag the Canal. Not to forget our favorite token slot to represent our cool creatures. We got Detective, and on the other side, a Goblin he's investigating. Alrighty, with that all said, thank you guys for joining me. This was filmed at Guard Tower West. Feel free to pick up your product this Friday, February 2nd. And if you'd like to see more of this, feel free to leave a comment behind. If there are any improvements, happy to hear what you have to say. And without further ado, hope you have a great rest of the day.